So just to warn you, they're going to go real fast, but there will be something about the outdoors, the indoors, and some ideas thinking about Web 2.0 having to do with green energy and music.
Yeah.
So to start it off right, we're going to talk about bathrooms. I always have a rant about bathrooms for some reason. So I think that urinals should be for male and female because it saves a lot of water. And I think if you the multi-flush could be better if you just could fill a toilet or unfill a toilet. I know it's not that savory thing to think about, but it would save tons of water and tons of money. So that's for what it is. This one is when you're doing the dishes, you get the water, it's just right, it's not too hot, not too cold, the pressure's just right and all that, and then you gotta soak something up or, dry something, you have to turn it off, and then you have to reset it. So I just want to pause the button for the sink. And another guy, put a response up and he said, oh yeah, we used to have those in professional kitchens all the time, so I want one in my kitchen. And I want one of these in my kitchen too. There's a cool technology, it's a glass, that when you turn a light switch on, it makes it go clear. It lines up the crystals, it's really cool. So if you had that, you wouldn't have to open up your fridge doors to look inside to see what was in it. And it would still, be nice and stylized. There's a cool thing called a heat pipe, and it would let you move the heating and the power and all that stuff to like an adapter in the socket, and then your iron would be really light and it would cool off right away, which would be great. And there's a big market potential for that too, so someone should make that. Alright, this is a house I designed in college, and one of my favorite things about it was this closet door that for a really small bedroom turned it into like a walk-in closet. It's just two pocket doors that it's mitered for 45-degree angles, so there's no post in the middle. So I needed an extra slide to put it up there. Alright, now we're on to the outdoors. I'm going to try to give it some semblance of coherence throughout this thing. It'd be cool if you came to a stop sign or a stoplight and you could capture the energy to use. Just put a coiled spring in there, or maybe compressed air. And it's kind of funny because there's been vlogs talking about this forever, no one's ever done it. It's probably a good reason why, but maybe it's a good idea. I went to a bike shop, Box Dog Bikes, they're awesome, and chatted up some of the ideas just to see what they might think about it. And there were some other ones too. And they actually really liked them, and another one they wanted was that you don't want to have to crash into a car if you have to ring your bell. I want this, that should be the theme of this, it should just be, I want this.
Yeah!
Actually, yeah, that's pretty much, it speaks for itself. That'd be awesome. Alright, now we're getting into the more kind of out there stuff, but I think you'll follow it. So I wanted to do a brainstorm about green energy, and I wanted to break it down into like the most basic ideas of it. So I want to talk about flux, which in basic terms is just how much stuff did you catch in a net today? So how much air touches that thing in one day? And so how do you get more energy, green energy? It's how do you get more stuff in a bigger net? So like nature channels wind through a canyon for you, if you have tidal movement through a small opening like in the bay, or you can make a bigger net, man-made. So these are kind of the thoughts that I was trying to brainstorm to try to figure out, well, maybe there's some other ways that you can do some cool stuff. And I was thinking about a glacier's kind of cool because it kind of has its own net built into it because it's rigid even though it flows. So maybe you could just stake it in a couple of places and then really cheaply harness that huge cross-section of ice that's flowing down the glacier flow there. And at the same time, I was kind of thinking of Web 2.0 ideas like crowdsourcing. And so I was trying to think about, well, maybe you could nature source a way to harness this energy. And it's kind of one of those ideas that sounds just, why bother thinking about it, but for some reason I do. And I was thinking maybe you could farm coral reefs in these just net cages that would be really cheap, crude, really inefficient, but if it was really cheap, then maybe it would actually be better in the long run than a turbine that would just sit right there and cost billions of dollars. And I know you're thinking of that as a terrible idea, the Golden Gate Bridge, I know, but it's the idea behind it that I'm really interested in. And so here's, maybe you could repurpose some urban structures that you're going to build anyways. I'm kind of skeptical of this thing in Dubai that they're doing. Paul and I were joking about sandstorms getting all in their joints like from day one. But maybe you could have a floating bridge that you could let move with the tide and capture that energy. And then I was kind of breaking it down in my mind, reading about the long-tail marketing concepts, and I was thinking maybe, you know, oil, atomic energy, that sort of thing is like the compressed energy that's really potent up here, and then there's really unpotent stuff like solar, wind, and hydro, but there's a whole lot of it everywhere, so maybe you can kind of copy some of that thinking and think of new ways to capture it. And then the same concepts I like to think about in terms of music and the internet. So moving on to my thoughts about music distribution. I think social networks are really the way the music is going to be distributed in the future. And this is a prototype of some software that I would like to develop that takes advantage of websites like MySpace. It has all this music, but there's not a very good way to visualize how friends are connected. You can't get at the music very easily except for page by page. So hopefully this is a way to organize, and I have a video of it that you can check out on my site. So just the act of browsing using the software would kind of be its own playlist, its own radio station that you can share with people. You can have all that information like Last I Found does, searchable. So yeah, check out the video of that. Hopefully it'll explain it a little bit. And that's so my final slide is just to say that check out my website, ThinkSketch.wordpress. I have some more crazy out there ideas. And also, I actually do professional work, believe it or not, like Paul was saying, with Instinct, that's Corbett, and this other guy down here, Kingfisher. And we are always looking for new interesting projects, so let us know if you have some crazy or down-to-earth ideas. All right, thanks.
Awesome.